everyone, I'm here with a look at the decks I'm using for the month of October. It's spooky season. It's time to bring out all the Halloween decks. For those of you that are new here, welcome. I'm Lou, the Rocker Witch. And for those of you that are returning, welcome back. But yes, let's get into the tarot and oracle decks I'm using for the month of October. If you're getting a reading from me, these probably will be the decks I'm reading from. Unless, of course, it's a specific reading or specific reading that uses specific decks. And if you're a patron of mine, then you'll see these in the weekly tarot scopes, as well as if you are at the level of getting like a personal reading for the month. But otherwise, if you're following me on social media, this is what you'll see on my TikTok and Instagram and things like that. So I've been trying this year to bring out decks I haven't worked with a while. But then October came, and I just had to go back to my Halloween staple, which is the Halloween Tarot. I love this deck. It just has, I gotta get a box or a pouch or something for this, because it just is in like the little tuck box, and I'm worried about wrecking it. And yeah, I try to be very, very gentle with this particular deck. It is your standard sort of tarot size deck. It is a cool deck. It is very Rider-Waite-Smith. But the suits have changed to be Halloween type themes. So we have here the ghosts. So the ghosts are the cups. Let's get the little lighting a little bit better there. There we go. The ghosts are the cups. Pumpkins for pentacles. I think that's so great. You'll see basic Rider-Waite-Smith, but with a Halloween vibe. The imps are the wands. Got our beautiful Empress here, Bride of Frankenstein. The Hermit, sort of the mad scientist. Got Justice with this pumpkin head here. Got our Queen of Ghosts. I like her mermaid tail. Got the Devil, looking very, very cool here. All the little imps are like, no, I'm chained up. And then we got bats for swords. So that's our farsuits. You know, this deck is a lot of fun, but it actually reads really well. Like, it's a really great deck to read with. It's fun, but it is very direct, I find. And I just love it for this time of year. I think that's really cool. And so this is the deck I'm going to be using. I was thinking of, you know, maybe working with something else, but I just kind of had to go back to the Halloween deck for Halloween season. I can't help it. And then I was thinking about what to pair it with. So let's cut it and see there. Got our Ace of Imps here. Now I am working with, for September and October, I decided to work with the Lustrous Lenormand. That is the new Lenormand deck. Let's zoom out a bit. By Ciro Marchetti. So it comes in this nice big box here. This nice big box Llewellyn type deck. I was a little worried that the deck might be big, but it's not. It's nice and small, as a Lenormand deck should be, in my opinion, so you can lay it out in a grand tableau. Comes with a beautiful glossy guidebook with full color illustrations. You know, Llewellyn's doing a really great job with their packaging, I have to say. So I've been working with this deck for September. I'm going to continue working with it in October. I want to see how it kind of pairs up with this, though. Let's take a look. All right. So we've got here the Star and the Ace of Imps. That looks all right. 10 and the Tower. Magician and the Ship. The nice thing about these two decks is they both are very kind of nostalgic type of decks, very old-timey. This always makes me sad. He's dropped his candy. And some of the blues, I think, and purples play off of each other really nicely. So I think these two, even though they are quite distinctly different styles, I think they will still work together because there's sort of that old-fashioned kind of nostalgia to it, I think. Like that with the house there and the house there. Yeah, I think these will go, the oranges play off each other. I think these will go together really well. So that's the Lustrous Lenormand. So I'm going to be working with that this year, or this month, I should say. And then for oracle decks that I'm working with, Of course, I mean, I pulled out the Halloween Tarot. I'm gonna have to pull out the Halloween Oracle. So again, this is kind of a staple for me for Halloween time. This deck, you know, I know not everybody loves this deck. I really enjoy it. One of the things that I've heard criticism about is that the backs don't match with the fronts. And I would agree with that. I would agree with that because you've got here this sort of cutesy, which does match with this actually, this cutesy kind of Halloween stuff. But then the front is a lot more serious. And also the other criticism is that there's an awful lot of skulls in this deck instead of just having one skull. There's like a skull of flowers. I think there's a skull of light. There's like a skulls of different things. Now, that doesn't bother me too much. The keywords, you know, I think are quite helpful. But some people have said like, oh, it could have been different. All right, so let's take a look at these two together, the Halloween Tarot and the Halloween Oracle, and just see what we think of that. Another shell there. Okay. I think those look pretty cool. I like this deck because it has these kind of darker themes, but also the themes are very fall in general. So it's not just Halloween in here, which I think is really nice. Because you got the apple. I love this. The hand and the hand. That looks so good. Spider. And then we got the cat here. The oranges playing off of each other. Got the veil, got her there. This and the candles really echo each other. Skeleton, star, Queen of Bats, and then you've got the hearth, almost like she's sitting right by the hearth. We've got the Two of Bats flying around her, and then you've got the Cardinal. The Lady de los Muertos here, and the bats. Pretty. Got the pomegranate. See, there's another skull of light. Lots of skulls in this deck. Got winter. Winter is coming. The night there. Then we've got the skull of stars with the death card. I think these also pair really well. You've got the sun in this. I love the echoes between the two, so I think these two will go together quite nicely as well. And then I always like to throw in like a god or goddess deck. And so for this season, until Samhain, I'm going to be working with, sorry, just going to close up some boxes here. I'm going to be working with the Goddesses and Sirens deck. So I always think of this kind of time of year as being sort of connected with like crone energy, connected very much with goddess energy, and so I thought I would pull this deck out. This deck, you know, Jimmy Manson's artwork is very superhero-y, so I know it does not always appeal to everybody, but I like this deck, and I really like pairing it with the Gods and Titans Oracle. I think they provide a really nice balance of masculine and feminine energy. I like that he does pull, Stacey DeMarco does pull from cultures all over the world. I really love that. So let's take a look at these two together. Got the Wolf and Lilith, that's great. The Muses, like they're flying around here. Pomona. We've got Aphrodite here. It's upside down. Sirens. Got Rhiannon. Oh, this is nice with the horse and the horse looking both ways. That's really great. Persephone. I think that's pronounced Kitesh. I think that's beautiful. The Sheila Nagig. To me, the Sheila Nagig should be old for sure. Like this, to me, little too young and vibrant looking. We've got Hecate or Hecate, however you pronounce it. We've got Helen of Troy here. I think this nice addition. Like, I wouldn't say these maybe exactly go together, but I do feel like this is a very like dark time of year kind of deck, and so I'm going to be including it in my readings as well. Now, another deck that, you know, I'm not going to be using it in readings for others, but I am going to be working with it myself this season and probably for the rest of the year. So like October, November, December, definitely the dark time of year, especially where I live here in northern latitudes, it gets dark early. Like in December, I leave for work and it's dark, and I come home and it's dark. So I'm going to be working with the Gateway of Light activation. So it has the word light in it, but I find this deck has a very like starry night, dark night kind of energy to it. Like it makes me think of like wintry nights, lots of sort of star energy, cosmos energy. So I was really wanting to like work a little bit more with this particular deck, just in my own personal practice. Let's see if we can, there we go, that's a bit better. So this is definitely a very new agey type deck. This is one that I'm kind of using as more like a moon cycle deck, like when the moon cycle changes. So when we get to like quarter moons, new moons, full moons, it's just something to work with, especially in meditation. So you see like this Divine Matrix, you've got lots of purples and blues here, very Starry Night color. There's a lot of sort of cosmic type energy here. Heart source. You can see it's got a bit of a alien type feel to it as well. A little bit of starseed, Lumerian type energy to it. These cards, the artwork's really beautiful. It is that matte that's like rose petal, which to touch, like I love this kind of stuff for book covers because it is like very lovely to touch. But for card shuffling and picking up cards, it is not very practical. I know people love it. I am not a fan of the matte deck. I love a glossy deck. But the artwork in this is really beautiful, and so I was wanting to look at working with this in like meditations and things. So again, not necessarily reading for others with it, but really working with it for October, November, December as far as like my own personal practice. So we're like upgrade, Merkaba activation. So you can see it's like a lot of sort of more new age type energy, but I like to balance both things out. I like to have dark stuff, and I also like to have light stuff as well. I like to have a balance between the two. So those are the decks that I'm going to be working with for the month of October. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have any of these decks? Do you like these decks? What are your thoughts? Again, you know, if you would like reading from me, you can definitely go check out my Etsy shop. For the month of October 2023, I have past life readings at a reduced price, if you're interested in that. Also, on my Patreon, we're working in October with Athena on Wisdom and Justice, so you can check that out too. Otherwise, thank you just so much for being here, for watching, for commenting. I appreciate it all. And big, giant shout out to my patrons. You guys are awesome and amazing. I appreciate you all so much. And as always, peace and love. And love.